हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हरे
Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, there is some network issue. Old age is attacking the person who is doing sense gratification. So that is the most important. Actually, this is there for everyone, but very graphically explained in this section by Narada Muni to King Puranjana in by giving the analogy of Puranjana's analogy to Prachini Barsha. So for us also, this is very important to know what all things are holding us here and what all things we have to face ahead. So this is how this explanation comes. So we should be, and Prabhupada also is trying to explain what all obstacles. So first obstacle is our body and then the connections to it, and especially with the wife for men. So Prabhupada says King Puranjana then began to think of his past dealings with his wife. He recalled that his wife would not take her dinner until he has finished his, and that she would not take her bath until he has finished his, and that she was always very much attached to him, so much so that if he would sometimes become angry and chastise her, she would simply remain silent and tolerate his misbehavior. Actually, now I may say, oh, we are not so much attached, but this is actually not the attachment. This is not the detachment which is coming out of knowledge. This detachment for presently, we say, oh, people are not attached to their wife and people are not attached to the husband. This attachment is not because of knowledge. This attachment is out of frustration. So this attachment won't give any much spiritual advancement, but it is little favorable. But that is not advancement like when a person gets spiritual knowledge. So this is like bhoga tyaga detachment. Bhoga. So the detachment now the people are having, and presently. So we have this pendulum of bhoga and tyaga. So this is bhoga and tyaga. So this is how the pendulum is moving. So people enjoy and then they get detachment. But this is not the detachment coming out of knowledge, not out of knowledge or bhakti, your understanding. So that's why it does not have much value. People are saying, oh, now no more attachment between wife and husband. Previously, there was so much attachment, bro, right? That for family life, it is very good for husband to be attached to wife, but it is not good for spiritual advancement. Why it is good? Why it is main pure? This is a very not attached wife, then he may become corrupt. That's why it is good. But for not good for spiritual advancement. So how it should happen is he should be attached, become responsible, and eventually be detached. So in that process he gets detachment, that is very safe. Now presently they are not interested in any of these things, but that is not out of devotion in the heart. That is there is sheer irresponsibility. Thus Krishna conscious must be established anyhow. So if a husband and wife were very much attached to one another in Krishna conscious, they will both benefit because Krishna is the center of their existence. So this is how the system works. And this is the proper system. Otherwise, if husband is too much attached to his wife, he becomes a woman in next life. And the woman being overly attached to her husband becomes a man in next life. Of course, it is advantage for women to become a man, but it is not at all advantageous for a man to become a woman. Uh, because it is not just body; it is actually the psychophysical nature that that is advantageous for a man. For women, once she takes up to, she has that Lord is very fair. So Lord is fair for both women and men. So how he is fair? Because for women, she is given a psychophysical nature where she is submissive. Advantages. They surrender to Guru, and then for them to practice. Once you give a system, okay, this is the standard 16 rounds, and these are the principles, and this is how you serve the deity. They will make sure that they follow this. But man is rational, so he needs knowledge and discrimination. So for him to progress, that's why they can take sannyas, they can give up things. So both are given advantages. Or a man, he is not very submissive fast, so it takes time for him to maintain the standard. But once he gets knowledge, he will maintain it. So it is, that's the advantage for both of them. So both can make progress, but the advantage man for more because he can renounce the house and go out of it, take sannyas, and that type of things are advantages for man. Woman, she cannot take sannyas, she just have to stay at home. So that is some of the disadvantages, but otherwise Lord is fair for both of them. They, for women to be submissive, surrender to Guru is easy. So it is not any loss, because if you see many of Prabhupada disciples, Yamuna Mataji or Malati Mataji, are some very advanced devotees. You see how much they are making. Like Yamuna Mataji, she is very submissive to Prabhupada, and that's all. She perfected her life. So there is no loss. Many sannyasis, Prabhupada disciples, they perfected. Many matas, they also perfected. So for women, there is in bhakti there is no such discrimination. But in general, there are advantages because they don't have that responsibility. Like from, they can, for boys they can directly from brahmacharya they can renounce and they can take up to spirituality. For women, she has to go through certain process. So that's the thing. King Puranjana. So here, when Prabhupada is writing this advantage, he's not. He's telling in terms of responsibilities. So getting a woman body is not very advantageous in the sense they have to go through this family life. That's why. King Puranjana continued thinking how, when he was in a state of bewilderment, his wife would give him good counsel, and how she would become aggrieved when he was away from home. Although she was the mother of so many sons and heroes, the king still feared that she would not be able to maintain the responsibility of household affairs. So, women, she need three. She need like security. So, for women, she needs security and she need attention and emotional support. So security comes from husband. This also from attention. All this husband, and here is children. Support comes from both children and husband. So these are the requirements for women. So that's why they need some security in terms of husband, father, son. So they give the security. So they need emotional support. Children and husband will give, and attention, full attention. Children give. So husband also gives. But so these are things that will make them completely safe. Means that psychophysical nature is needed. So then it is an advantage for them, and that's why they like to serve. So they also have the requirement. They want to serve. So they want to serve. So when they get opportunity to serve, they feel happy. Like mother cooks for the children, children eats. So she feels very happy. You know that she like at any age also. Even if mother is 70 years old, and the son comes, she want to serve something to him. So this is how the nature is, and she is happy serving. She happy that somebody is accepting their service. So that is how the nature is made, and we all need that, and Lord arranged like that. So then, if this is not, that's why they need to enter into family life. If they don't need, then they can directly take sannyas. But otherwise, they have to go through this system. For man, he don't have this security need. So and these are, he has a different needs. So he need balance. So that's why woman is needed for him to be balanced from emotion. He's in extreme emotions. Anyway, that is different. So the point is that uh, so they have to go through family life because of these needs. So at the time of death, King Puranjana was thinking of his wife, and this is called polluted consciousness. So what we are thinking, this is polluted consciousness. So very unfortunate. And we may think, oh, person may be dying immediately on the bed and other things. But no, his thought process is good. So ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातन मनस्सष्टानींद्रियाणि prakriti karshati. So the living entity in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental pack. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with six senses, which include mind. So Prabhupada writing, the living entity is, after all, part and parcel of Supreme Spirit, Krishna. In other words, Krishna's continual position and the living entity's constitutional position are the same quality. So, but we are going with our mind, we are struggling. And Prabhupada is writing here, since King Puranjana was thinking of his wife, his struggle for existence in the material world will not be ended by death. So this is always there. So every time when we are dying, Krishna is asking, "You want to come?" We say, "No." What about my wife? What about my children? And Krishna says, "Okay, take another wife, take some more children." King Puranjana had to accept a body of women in his next life due to his being overly absorbed in the thoughts of his wife. This mental absorption in social, political, and pseudo religious, national, and communal consciousness is cause for bondage. So, people who are interested in all these social, political, and pseudo religious, national, and communal. So, Vande Bharat. So, Vande Mataram, and all these things. People are so much in communal, Hindu, Muslim, political, which party, pseudo religious. I know we should be keeping distance from it. Otherwise, it is only cause of bondage. You see, Prabhupada was also in this uh, social, political, national. Prabhupada was Gandhian, and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he said real freedom is from mind and senses. Freedom. Real freedom is freedom of mind and senses. So that is the real release. You see, during one's lifetime, one has to change his activities in order to attain release from bondage. So this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Yajnartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma. If this is not Krishna, then it is bondage only. See, what happens is when we come, we have some little spirit, this inclination. We feel, oh, this is nice. But if one do not change our consciousness in life, whether whatever we do in this name of social, political, religious, or communal and national welfare will be cause of our bondage. See, national welfare also. It is not for devotees. Externally, we can show, okay, we are also national, but it is not true. That is cause of bondage. Bhaksiddhanta Thakur was, that is the first argument with Prabhupada. That is the first meeting with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was also Gandhian. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said bogus. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's from Gaudiya every day Rajbhog used to go to Subhash Chandra Bose house. His father was a regular donor. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is not interested. He just gave. So Manasasthani Indriyani Prakriti. When mind and senses are engaged in material activities, one has to continue his material existence and struggle for it. All these things cause problem at the time of death. That's why it is all explained. Why Prabhupada is taking so much effort us to understand this is all these things are causing us hindrance. Prabhupada is telling, see, actually no one in the material world is happy. We should believe in Acharya's word. No one means no one is happy. But the struggle gives a false sense of happiness. That's all. Prabhupada, we should have faith in Prabhupada's words. We are thinking that somebody is happy, maybe I should also try. No. First thing is this conviction should come. I don't want to enjoy in this world. Then spiritual life becomes very easy. It's like a cakewalk. If we are convinced that I don't want to enjoy here, things go very fast. Otherwise, there is always struggle. Struggle is for what? I want to enjoy, it does not work here. So person must work very hard, and when he attains results of his hard works, he thinks himself happy. In the material world, people do not know that what real happiness is. Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam hatindriyam. Real happiness must be appreciated by one's transcendental senses. Unless one is purified, the transcendental senses are not manifest. Therefore, to purify the senses, one must take to Krishna consciousness. So, Shariram yadavapnoti yachapi utkram ishvaraha. So, here the living, so Prabhupada is trying to make us understand how dangerous it is to work with any of these things. So, and Prabhupada writing, similarly, King Puranjana, the living entity, now passes the heir of his life over his wife, a woman. Therefore, he has to accept a body of woman in next life. So he could have directly taken sannyas and perfected his life, but what happened to him? He is going to become a woman. King Puranjana continued worrying, after I pass from this world, how will my sons and grandsons, who are now fully dependent on me, live and continue their life? Their position will be similar to that of passengers aboard a ship wrecked in the midst of ocean. So this is actually what happened to all of us in all this life. We are stuck up. That's why Bhagavatam is very graphically describing how a person is living his body with what consciousness is living and what all thoughts he is going through. At the time of death, every living entity worries about what will happen to his wife and children. Similarly, a politician also worries what will happen to his country or his political party. Unless one is fully Krishna conscious, He has to accept a body in next life according to his particular state of consciousness. Since Puranjana is thinking of his wife and children and is overly engrossed in thoughts of his wife, he will accept the body of a woman. Similarly, a politician or a so called nationalist who is inordinately attached to the land of his birth will certainly be reborn in the same land after ending his political career. One's next life will also be affected with acts one performed during one's life. So people say, I will die for my country, I will die for hundreds of times. That is good to hear, but not for devotees. So sometimes politicians act most sinfully for their own sense gratification. It is not unusual for a politician to kill the opposing party. Even though politicians may be allowed to take birth in the so called homeland, he still has to undergo suffering due to his sinful activities in his previous life. The science of transmigration is completely unknown to modern scientists. So called scientists do not like to bother with these things because if they would at all consider the subtle subject matters and the problems of life, they would see that their future is very dark. Thus, they try to avoid considering the future and continue committing all kinds of sinful activities in the name of social, political, national necessities. Now, the point is, please try to understand what happens is this is all the preparation for death. So, life is actually examination, death is the result. Life is not preparation, death is examination. Actually, life is examination, and death is the result. That time we cannot write anything. At the time of death, we cannot write any exam. We'll only get result. Exam is happening every day for us. What type of consciousness I am maintaining, that is the exam we are facing every day. So problem is we are little uh, little weak. Although King Puranjana should not have lamented over the fate of his wife and children, he nonetheless did so due to his miserly intelligence. In the meantime, Yavana Raja, whose name was fear itself, immediately drew near to arrest him. So, see what happened? His miserly intelligence. So, what is the thing we should acquire in this lifetime when we are passing, writing exam means good intelligence, Buddhi Yoga. So this is what we have to acquire. That's why every day hearing and chanting. Foolish people do not know that every individual soul is responsible for his own actions and reactions in life. As long as living entity in the form of a child or body is innocent, it is the duty of father and mother to lead him into the proper understanding of values of life. When the child is grown, it should be left up to him to execute duties of life properly. So till what happens is from the age of 6 to 12 and from 12 to 16. So here it's all training very strictly. And here guidance, age of 16. And after 16, he is free. Free in the sense he is not going to listen anymore. It is his responsibility. He is fully responsible. So this is how the system works. It can start at age of 5 also, the Gurukul age, 5 or 6. They have to very, training should be very strict at this age. 6 is good, but now children are becoming fast. They should be strict training. They should be very strict. Parents should be. They should be affectionate, but very strict. And from here, they cannot be strict, but they have to give guidance. You know, some freedom and guidance. He cannot be strict after this age. It will damage them because the ego is start growing from here. They have ego, but they start feeling independent. So the teens will start from 16. Then he is given freedom then he is fully responsible for his life. So the parent after his death cannot help his child. A father may leave some estate for his children's immediate help, but he should not be overly absorbed in thought of how his family will survive after his death. So this is the disease of conditioned soul. So Prabhupada left his family and he is understand that because this is the disease of conditioned soul. Not only does he commit sinful activities for his own sense gratification, but he accumulates great wealth to leave behind so that his children may also gorgeously arrange for sense gratification. So, what they are doing for the children, they are helping them to enjoy senses nicely by all the facilities. So, parents are arranging sense gratification for children and they consider it success. That is unfortunate state. What did you do for children? Oh, I gave so much property for my children. That means this fellow can enjoy nicely. Arre, you have to give them spiritual assets, not just material property. In any case, everyone is afraid of death. So therefore, death is called bhaya or fear. Although King Puranjana was engaged in thinking of his wife and children, death did not wait for him. Death does not wait for anyone. It will immediately carry out its duty. Since death must take away the living entity without hesitation, it is the ultimate God realization of the atheist. So, what is the God realization of atheists? Is death. They see Lord in terms of death. This is very important. So, atheists see God in the form of death. They also get. So, it is the ultimate God realization of atheists who spoil their lives thinking of country, society, relatives to neglect God consciousness. That's why even politicians should retire at certain age for two reasons: to set example and for their own personal safety. If they are not retiring after certain age and continuing in political life, they are endangering themselves and they are setting a very, very, very bad example to the society. Oh, at this age also he is doing something for the country, he is working very hard. Arre, you should work hard for spirituality. That's why leaders, if they are not God conscious, they are taking society see for what? Thinking of country, society, relatives, and they are completely neglecting God consciousness. They look very religious and all, but that is a wrong example. They are setting a very wrong example for general mass. They also will continue thinking like that only about the society, country, relatives, because that's what they are doing. But if a person after certain age retires and take to spirituality very seriously, it sets an example for other people. He says, okay, if he is such a high position, he is having all facilities, enjoying everything, and he is giving it up and taking to spirituality. So that is what we also do should do. So the word adhat aharam is very significant, for it means that one should not be overly engaged in welfare activities for one's family members, country members, society, and community. You see, people they adore so much. One should not be overly engaged in welfare activities. So it looks like very harsh, but that is true. One should not be overly engaged because Prabhupada is giving, he is concerned about the soul. Overly welfare, it is for the body, right? But Prabhupada is concerned about the soul of the living entity. That's why he's telling no need. So, welfare for the soul is important. So, none of these will help a person to advance spiritually. Unfortunately, in the present day society, so called educated men have no idea about spiritual progress. Uh, they remain misers. They use their lives improperly and simply waste them thinking about the material welfare of their relatives, countrymen, society, and so on. One's actual duty is to learn how to conquer death. Lord Krishna states the process of conquering death. Janma karma chime divyam evam yo vetti tattva tektva deham punarjanma naitimam. Very simple formula Krishna is giving. Arey, you just know about me, you will be out of this problem. Instead of wasting your time, okay, you have done till age of 50, 60 max, you have done something for your family. Just get out now. You think about the Lord. You understand about the Lord. After giving up his body, one who is fully Krishna conscious does not accept another body. So, this Krishna conscious movement, however, is educating people throughout the world and informing them how to conquer death. Harim vinana mrityum taranti. One cannot conquer death without taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this whole chapter is how to conquer death. He's trying to tell what all things, what all mistakes we did. That's why we are in this body again. And what we should not do again. Don't repeat this. When the Yavanas were taking Puranjana away from their palace, binding him like an animal, the king's followers became greatly aggrieved. While they lamented, they were forced to go along with him. When Amaraj and his assistants take a living entity away to the palace of judgment, the life air, and desires, being followers of living entity, also go with him. So, what all came with us from the past life? These are our associates. Who all there? The soul came. Sorry, there was issue. So these all things are coming with us. Unfortunately, the most dangerous things, the desires are coming with us. That's why we are getting another body. So being followers of the living entity also go with him. These are the dangerous followers. This is confirmed in Vedas. So where are these desires? They are in the subtle body. Right? So the subtle body is traveling. This prana is traveling. So the prana is the energy which connects the soul to the subtle body. Soul, energy, and the subtle body. So how these are connected. So these three are happily traveling with the soul is. So the Prabhupada rating, it is confirmed with that when the living entity is taken away or arrested by Yamaraj, tam utkramantam, the life air goes with him. Prana nutkramanti. So when you say na this person's prana left, so what is prana? The energy. So when the life air is gone, all the senses, sarva pranaha, also go along. Anukratatman, anurukramanti. And the living entity and life air are gone. The lump of matter, product of five elements, earth, water, air, fire, and others, is rejected and left behind. That's all. Even the senses are going. You see? So all the senses also go along. So it is this earth, water, fire body we have, na? They are just they are the instruments for the senses to act. I have chakshu and then I have netra, both. I need eyes, but I need to have subtle eyes also, which so with the help of this eyes, I can see, but I need to have subtle eyes. Like I have spectacles. Now spectacles don't see, but uh, they help me to see. Similarly, eyes are like Panchamahabhuta. They don't see, but you need to have the chakshu, the subtle organs. You're understanding, right? So the subtle body also includes subtle senses. So subtle body, man, buddhi, chitta, hankar, and senses also. The living. So what happens is if we damage subtle senses, then also we get reactions. That type. That's why people don't have some organs in the next life because they did damage. Like one woman, she was blind, so she was taken to hypnotics. So everything, all her eyes were very good. Everything was so perfect with her eyes. But the doctors were not understanding why she's not able to see. So she was taken to hypnotic regression, and then she went into they took her to the past life, and there, every time she used to tell in the past life, whenever she used to be upset or something, she used to say, "Let me not see, let me not see, let me not see." And because she was so much telling it, it went into so much in the consciousness, it became her desire, and then it manifested. Then she didn't had that settled sense only. The Paramatma in the heart reciprocated. So she didn't had the chakshu. She had the external eyes, but she couldn't see. So that is how the problem comes. So the subtle senses are also very. They should be very strong also. They become weak because of karma. So the living entity then goes to the court of judgment. Emerald decides what kind of body he is going to get next. This process is unknown to modern scientists. Now, if a person is so much interested in smelling, he gets a body of a dog because dog smell is very strong. It can smell very nicely. He's always fighting and he's always smelling. He gets a body of dog. If he's always eating, then he gets a body of whatever, hog or elephant, whatever it depends. So every living entity is responsible for his activities in this life, and after death, he takes to the court of Emerald, where it is decided what kind of body he will get next. So, although the gross material body is left, the living entity and desires as well as the resultant reactions of his past activity is gone. It is Emerald who decides what kind of body one gets next in accordance with one's past actions. Now, the point is, we all did something good. That's why we got at least human body because this is a rare thing. Because desires are so peculiar. There are so many types of bodies that are available there. So somehow we got human body. Now we should take advantage of it and get out of it. The serpent, who had already been arrested by the soldiers of Yamaraj and was out of the city, began to follow his master along with the others. As soon as they left the city, it was immediately dismantled and smashed to death. So as soon as the prana goes, the first the Yamaraj he arrested King Puranjana. So Puran's soul. The soul is taken, prana is gone, senses are gone, desires are gone. So Prabhupada says when the living entity is arrested, all his followers, namely life air, the senses, the sense objects immediately leave the lump of matter, the body. When the living entity and companions leave, the body is no longer works, but turns into basic material elements, earth, water, fire, and fire. That's why nobody will want to keep the body. Even the Prabhupada gives example in Science of Self. The most beautiful bodies, if they die, nobody want to keep them. The body which we lived with them for so close friends, wife, husband, you lived for 40 years, 50 years with them. As soon as they die, they don't want to keep that body even for one day. Because, of course, some foolish people still keep the bodies. So, when the city attacked by enemies is vacated by its inhabitants, the enemy immediately takes advantage of the city and bombards it to smash the whole thing to dust. When we saw, when we say dust through art and not dust through shell written, we refer to body. When the city is attacked and bombarded by enemies, the citizens generally leave and the city ceases to exist. So, very horrifying explanation, very dangerous. This is actually what happened to all of us. And future it is going to happen. Our city is going to be destroyed. It is a foolish person who engages in improving the condition of a city without caring for the citizens or inhabitants. Similarly, A living entity who is not properly enlightened in spiritual knowledge simply takes care of the external body, not knowing that spirit soul is principal factor within the body. When one is advanced in spiritual knowledge, the spirit soul is saved from the eternal transmigration. So if you are attached to the body, saeva gokaraha, cows and asses. So yasyatma buddhir krinapetir daduke. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Human civilization devoid of Krishna conscious, simply civilization of lower animals. So there is no point. So Prabhupada is very graphically trying to explain and make us understand the point. Very, when King Puranjana was being dragged with great force by powerful Yavana, who, out of his gross ignorance, he still could not remember his friend and will wisher super soul. See, this is actually what happened to all of us. It is not happening to Puranjana, it is for us only. Puranjana is allegory. We all forgot the super soul. That's why chanting is so important because it goes so subtle. Isha Mataji example I was telling. She is proper disciple and she served very nicely. She used to stay far from devotees, but she was very sincere. Whoever was there around, she used to serve them nicely, serve prasadam, very sincerely chant. And she became very old because she came late in Krishna, late in her age, and she crossed 80s, 5, 90 like that. Then she got a special type of uh, health issue where she forgot everything. She could not remember her name, her place, even how to go to washroom and all. Nothing she remembered. So then Niranjan Maharaj came to know about her because she is very nice devotee and he wanted to call her god sister. And then he called, and the doctor comes and tells that Niranjan Maharaj is online. She takes the phone and she chants Hare Krishna mantra fully. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then she says Prabhupada ki jai. Only that much she remember. She don't remember anything. And after 1 2 months, Niranjan Maharaj goes to meet her in the hospital. And doctor is teaching how to eat. And then he also started telling, so your name is this, and you are from this place, and somewhere near New York. This is your place, and all. And she's telling, no, 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 no. My house is Vrindavan. Doctor is saying, no, your house is some place in US. She's telling, no, no, no. My house is Vrindavan. So she just remember that. So this is actually what should happen. So the chanting, what we are doing, should go so subtle. It should go so deep into our chitta. Now, at least at the level of mind, we should chant. If not at the not just gross, but mind also should chant. Then the it goes more deeper than the chitta. And very subconscious, unconscious level also the chanting should happen. So then we are saved. Like another instant, what happened is like when devotee in Indonesia or Malaysia, when boy became devotee, he started chanting, was very seriously chanting. His parents became concerned. They were from a different religion. So they took the doctor and said, we'll pay whatever you want, just make him forget all these things. So they took him to very heavy treatments where they gave him medicines and some shocks and all, so that he forget everything. And he forgot everything, his name, his everything he forgot. Only thing is remember is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So because it goes so subtle, so that is the advantage. So we all forgot it. We could not remember our real friend, the super soul. So when we are chanting, then Paramatma will make us remember. So that, oh, you always chanted about me. Do you remember? So Prabhupada is writing. So a person can be in full Krishna conscious and become happy and satisfied if he knows the three things, namely Supreme Lord is enjoyer of all benefits. He is the proprietor of everything and he is the supreme friend of all living entities. He does not know this and functions instead under the bodily conception. He is always harassed by the tribulations offered by material nature. So this is the problem. So Lord is there, we have to surrender. Proper only when we will have, only then the living entity must turn towards the Supreme Lord and surrender unto Him. Only then he will be saved from the onslaughts of powerful Yavanas or Emeraj. That's all. So the word Sakyam, friend, is very significant in these words because God is eternally present besides the living entity. The Super Lord is always described as Suhurdam. So, despite all offenses of a son, father and mother are always the son's well wishers. Similarly, despite all our offenses and defenses of the desires of the Supreme Lord, the Lord will give us immediate relief from all hardships offered by material nature if we simply surrender unto Him. See, once we surrender, all karma is gone because they just forgive because they are very loving. The Lord is very loving. He said, okay, you surrender, punish. Unfortunately, due to our bad association and great attachment for sense gratification, we do not remember our best friend, the Supreme Lord. So, this is the situation. So, all the effort what we are doing na, is for this only to give up the desire to enjoy. So, what is holding us? What is the disease we have? So, what is holding us? That is desire to enjoy, independent of Lord. Right? So this is actually what is holding us. So what we have to give up is only this one, but it is so strong, very difficult. That's why we what we do to give it up, we regulate our enjoyment, and second thing is we offer to Lord. So these are the two things we do to give up this desire to enjoyment. So people say, can we take chocolate or not? You can take anything. If it is desire to enjoy or regulation, you have to check about it. Will it increase your desires to enjoy or it is reducing? If it is increasing, then you should not do. If he says, okay, bro, once in a lifetime I will eat, I will never eat rest of my life, then you can take rest. Don't take that risk. If you are eating, see what happens is if we enjoy, say I enjoy chocolate. So what happens? Our sanskaras, impressions will come. So not that enjoyment, but along with that the impressions come. These impressions will what they will do? They'll make us enjoy more. So that is the problem. So it is not enjoying, it is the impressions that are more dangerous, which will make us, the karma vasanas will make us do it again and again and again. We are caught up. That's why what we do, we just stick to whatever is prescribed, be regulated, offer to Lord, whatever Lord takes, we also take that much to save ourselves from these things. The most unkind king, Puranjana, had killed many animals in various sacrifices. So Narada is referring to Parachni Barshit. You killed animals, na? You see what is happening to Puranjana. He also killed many animals. Now, taking advantage of this opportunity, all these animals began to pierce him with their horns. It was as though he were being cut to pieces by axes. So all the people who are eating non-veg, for them this is what is there. No, Prabhupada is going to write. See, those who are very enthusiastic about killing animals in the name of religion or for food must await similar punishment after death. The word mamsa, meat, indicates that those animals whom we kill will be given an opportunity to kill us. Mamsaha, you kill me. Actually, although in actuality no living entity is killed, the pain of being pierced by horns of animals will be experienced after that. See, Not knowing these rascals unhesitantly go on killing poor animals. So called human civilization has opened many slaughterhouses for animals in the name of religion or food. See, very, very sad state. So many. There, those who are little religious kill animals in temple, mosques, or synagogues, and those who are more fallen maintain various slaughterhouses. So both are very sinful. Just as in a civilized human society, the law is a life for a life. No living entity can encroach upon another living entity as far as Supreme Lord is concerned. Everyone should be given freedom to live at the cost of the Supreme Father. And animal killing, either for religion or for food, is always condemned by the Supreme Lord. So, तान् अहं दशतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपान् अजस्रम् अशुभान् आसुरीषेव योनिषु. So this is actually how much Lord is angry with such people. Those who are envious and miscreants, those who are lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of metal existent to various demonic species. See how much they are going to suffer. So for doing this killing of animals, so sinful, and so much punishment they are going to get, and now they are suffering. Whole society, if you see, it is in so much stress for fine. There is economic problems, there is trade wars, there is wars, there is terrorism, there is corruption. So much pressure is there on the people. They are not understanding why it is happening, because you are killing animals in millions every day. You know, so many animals are killed. All the reaction is coming to the whole. It's a accumulated karma. You get karma on overall karma. So they don't understand such simple things, unfortunately. You know, everybody is suffering because of these things. A very dangerous state of affairs. And due to his contaminated association with women, see another problem. Contaminated association with women, a living entity like King Puranjana and eternally suffered all the pangs of material existence and remain in dark region of material life, bereft of all remembrance for many years. So that means he suffered quite a lot in hell. This is description of mental existence. Mental existence is experience when one becomes attached to woman and forgets his real identity. See here, attachment to woman means the desire to enjoy. That's what. Now, what he gets from women, he gets the enjoyment. That's what. So if that means he is basically attached to enjoyment. That's all. Forgets his real identity, and the woman, his wife becomes old, then he's attached to some other form of woman, some other woman. That means what? He is not, the mistake is what? That is his desire to enjoy is the mistake, right? So in this way, one one body after another, the living entity perpetually suffers and threefold miseries of materialism. To save human civilization from darkness of ignorance, this movement is started. The main purpose of Krishna consciousness movement is to enlighten the forgetful living entities and remaining of his original Krishna consciousness. So, and that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Anadi karma phale padi bhavarnava jale तरी भरे ना देखी उपाय ये विषया हला हला दिवानिशी या ज्वला mana bahu sukha nahi pai. Because of my fruitive activity, past fruitive activities, I have now fallen into an ocean of nuisance. I cannot find any means to get out of this great ocean, which is indeed like an ocean of poison. We are trying to be happy through sense enjoyment, but actually, that so called enjoyment is like a food that is too hot and causing burning in the heart. I feel a burning sensation constantly, day and night, and thus My mind cannot find satisfaction. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur trying to help us. Material existence is always full of anxiety. So little intelligence people can understand. People are always trying to find many ways to mitigate anxiety, but because they are not guided by real leader, they try to forget material anxiety through drink and sex indulgence. Foolish people do not know that by attempting to escape anxiety by drink and sex, they simply increase the duration of material life. It is not possible to escape material anxiety in this way. And people feel that they're they're making some very big things. And the word pramada sanga dushitaha indicates that apart from all other contamination, if one simply remains attached to a woman, the single contamination will be sufficient to prolong one's miserable material existence. Consequently, in Vedic civilization, one is trained from the beginning to give up attachment for women. The first stage of life is brahmacharya. Second stage grahastha, third is vanaprastha, fourth is sannyas. All these stages are devised to enable one to detach himself from the association of women. Prabhupada is telling this is all these stages are for what? Attachment to women is what we discussed. It is a desire to enjoy. So this is the problem for a living entity. He want to enjoy. So for woman is also a problem. If she has a desire to enjoy, and man is all desire. For man, the greatest enjoyment comes from women. That's why for him it is told association of women. And woman, she can get enjoyment in terms of her facilities, her jewelry, her cosmetics, her her wardrobe and other things, her children. So she gets her pleasure in her own things. So, but basically, this is what is main thing. Why man? Because man, if he takes to spirituality, he will help wife because she has the nature of submissiveness. So it helps him. If man is not correct, then woman also will have problem. King Purajana gave up his body while remembering his wife, and consequently in his next life, he became a very beautiful and well situated woman. He took his next birth as the daughter of King Vidarbha in the very house of the king. Singh Kuranjana thought of his wife at the time of death. He attained the body of woman in his next birth. This verifies the following verse in Bhagavad Gita, Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam. So at the time of death, one will think of the subject that has occupied his life while he was awake, lightly sleeping or dreaming, or while he was deeply sleeping. That's why speaking about Krishna all the time will help us to remember him all the time. Even in the dream, also, you start giving class. So that is an advantage. You will speak about Krishna, not giving class. In dream, also, will speak about class. If one is absorbed in material thoughts and ignorance of spiritual life, and he does not take spirit shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Govinda, who solves all the questions of birth and death, he will become a woman in next life, especially if he thinks of his wife. Karmana daiva netrena. What actually, at least half an hour before our taking rest, we should be connected to Krishna in terms of reading Krishna book or chanting or hearing about Krishna, Kirtan. Nothing material should be there before sleeping because in the sleep we'll get proper sleep. And second thing is morning chanting will be nice. In the night we have taken care of properly at least half an hour before or 1 hour. If we are Krishna consciously taking rest, next day chanting will help because sleep is also good. You will not get distraction in chanting much. So this is very important. So living entity acts piously and impiously, and sometimes both ways. All actions are taken into account, and living entities offered a new body by his superiors. So this is actually what happened to all of us. Prapya punya kritam lokam ushitva shashwati sama. So if a person falls from the path of bhakti yoga, God relation, due to attachment to fruitive activities, philosophical speculation, and mystic yoga, he is given a chance to take birth in a rich family. So, Narada Muni therefore advised Vyasa that one should take to Krishna conscious devotional service and abandon all occupation. So, Tektva Sudharmam Charanam Bhujam Hare Bhajanna Pakko Tapate Tato Yadi. So, and then he says that it was fixed that Vidarbhi, the daughter of King Vidarbha, was to be married to a very powerful king, Malayadvaja, an inhabitant of Pandu country. After conquering other princesses, he married the daughter of King Vidarbha. So now comes new story, new new section where now he became a woman. So this is actually what did he do with his life? Puranjana, he got a body, he got all facilities, and he completely misused it. And now he is ending up with another life. And what he will do with this life, we'll see. So it is customary among Kshatriyas for a princess to be offered under certain conditions. For instance, Draupadi was offered in marriage to one who could pierce fish with an arrow simply by seeing the reflection of the fish. And Krishna also married. So here Vidarbha also, Malayadvaja he did. And so the name Malayadvaja signifies a great devotee who stands as firm as Malaya hills and throughout his propaganda makes other devotees similar as firm. Such a Mahabhagavata can prevail over opinions of all others. So here what happened to Vidarbhi? She got association of a devotee. A strong devotee makes that means in this life we all got this association of a devotee. That is for us Malayadvaja is Srila Prabhupada. He is a Mahabhagavata can prevail awe over the opinion of all others. So here Malayadvaja is conquering other princes means here Prabhupada is writing he is prevailing over all other prevailing over opinion of others. So for us like that. So this life we are fortunate. A strong devotee makes propaganda against all other spiritual conceptions, namely jnana, karma, yoga. With his devotional flag unflared, he always stands fast to conquer other conceptions of transcendental realization. Whenever there is an argument between devotee and non-devotee, pure, strong devotee comes out victorious. The word Pandya comes from the word Panda, meaning Panda, means knowledge. Unless one is highly learned, he cannot conquer non-devotional conceptions. So here, whether be she got association of devotees, so he is like a husband for her. So the supreme lord is called Ajita, meaning no one can conquer him, but a devotee by strong devotional service and sincere attachment to supreme lord can easily conquer him. So devotee can conquer the lord. So such a devotee kindly married the daughter of King Vidarbha. So for us, we got our guru here. With either we got King Malayadvaja, who happened to be a devotee. So King Malayadvaja fathered one daughter who was who had very black eyes. He also had seven sons who later became rulers of that tract of land known as Dravida. Thus, there were seven kings in that land. King Malayadvaja was a great devotee, and after he married the daughter of Vaidarbhi, he gave her one nice daughter whose eyes were black. Figuratively, this means the daughter of King Malayadvaja was also bestowed with devotional service, for her eyes were always fixed on Krishna. Black eyes is why? Because Krishna is black, so her eyes are always fixed on Krishna. So, daughter means devotion. So, what happened to Vaidarbhi? She got a daughter. That means King Malayadwaja gave her devotion. A devotee has no vision in his life other than Krishna. The seven sons are the seven process of devotional service hearing, chanting, remembering, offering worship, offering prayers, rendering transcendental loving service, and serving the lotus feet of Lord. Of the 9 types of devotionals, only 7 are immediately given. The balance, friendship and surrendering everything will be developed later. So that's why 7 are given now. So 7 sons and 1 daughter, that is devotion and devotional processes are given by the guru when he enters into the life of a disciple. So that is the point here. Okay. Any questions, comments? The question is, settled desires decide our next body. Yes, it only decides. If he has taken birth in a rich family, how can he take up bhakti? What happens is he will do some pious activity because he has that mentality, and because of which he will again go higher and higher, and he will go to heavenly planets. He may not. Sometimes they may become devotees, but not all the time. So rich family, like we have some people who are very rich and they are doing some welfare activities. They are devotionally inclined. They do something for building the temples and all, and they increase their sukriti. Then they may take up seriously spirituality. Otherwise, not possible. So rich family is not always advantageous. So any other comments, questions? Okay, thank you all very much. We'll end here. If there is nothing. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।